Okay, awesome. Hi everyone. Very good evening. Thank you for tuning in on a Saturday. So I'm Tanvi. I'm one of the founding team members here at MyWays. Just to get to know you, who all are attending a MyWays session for the first time, if you can introduce yourself in the chat, tell me which college you're from and what are you studying, which year are you in. Yes, is somebody asking a question? You can unmute and start. We have not yet started with the session, so you can ask your queries if you have any. Awesome. Please introduce yourself in the chat. Hi, Uday. Good evening. Good evening. So today we are going to talk about data science and all that goes in data science. I hope it's a good session for all of you. And we have today Miss Ekta Shah. She has been an active mentor. She has already done sessions with us, and she's a senior machine learning engineer with Quantiphi. She has done her master's in data science, and she has a wide industry experience in different domains, working with data and for data. So I hope you all get most of your time here today. Before we start, if everyone here can just introduce themselves in the chat, tell us which college you're from, what are you here to learn, and what are you expecting from the session. Please use the chat to talk to us, to tell us really what's going on. Okay, Uday is from Bharat University, Chennai. I think only Uday is here to learn. Others are silent. Okay, Shrishti is from IGDTU. Great. We always get a lot of students from IGDTU. PCCOE, okay. Which years are you in, Shrishti and Shubham? So are you guys just starting out first year? Okay, that's great. Hi, Naman. You're from IIT Delhi. Okay, great. First year, Udit is also from first year. Okay. Prashasi is from Bilaspur. Awesome. Third year from VIT, Rajasthan. Hi, Abhishek from Solapur. Great. Second year. Hi, Ankita. Okay, you're working already in Python.
Yes,
Great, 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 great.
yes,
So we have
mm,
people from first year as well as people who have 4 years of experience. That's
yes,
awesome.
yes.
That's awesome. Great.
Nice to talk to you. Thank you.
Yes, likewise. Awesome. Okay, I'll hand over the stage to Miss Ekta. We'll talk about data science and all that that goes there, whatever we have mentioned as the key takeaways, and we'll we'll stay for questions. So I have a lot of pre-submitted questions from you people, from the people who have registered. We had over 500 registrations, but I think it was a Saturday and people decided to just not show up. But definitely we'll take up all the questions in the end. If during the session you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box and I'll take them up at the end of the session. And I think that is all from my side. I hope you like the session and please make sure to stay for the question and answers. Thank you. Over to you, Ms. Ekta.
Hi, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, 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 you're audible.
Okay, thanks, Tanvi, for the introduction. Let's get started. I have shared my screen. I think it's visible, right?
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Tanvi. So, yeah, what we're going to be learning today is about deep diving into data science. So, I don't know how many of you guys actually are aware about what data science is. So, you're going to know a bit more about what data science is and what all we do as a part of it. And a simple use case, and then we'll look at what all are the actual job opportunities that you guys are really looking for, since that is your career goal, right? Like that is something that you can evaluate whether it's a career goal or not. So it's just like a question that everyone wants answers to. So yeah, so the agenda is as follows: that we'll talk something about data science, what the terminology is, the different kind of applications that you'll see in the data science field, Um, it's found anywhere and everywhere today. Then we look at a bit about the process flow. So there is a typical process flow that is followed for any kind of a data science application that we build up. Then we look at a simple business problem, a very simple sample use case that will give you an idea as to what kind of data science work is there out there in the industry. Then journey ahead. Journey ahead is basically your most asked question, that is, what kind of jobs lie ahead, etc. So that's what we plan to look at. Now, when we look at this image, it's a very nice pictorial representation of what a data scientist is. So this lady is saying that, oh, you're dropping your numbers. So this guy is saying that no worries. I have so many of them since I'm a data scientist. And yeah, under the banner you see it is written that data scientist is the sexiest job of the 21st century. So yeah, to justify this, data scientists work all days with numbers. That's a fact. So it's all about numbers and numbers everywhere. But it's not similar to your CA commerce kind of a role. But yeah, you do deal with numbers day in, day out. And you deal with reading data, which is also numbers, maybe analyzing it also, which is numbers, and also your predictions might also be numbers. So it's quite possible that you're dealing with numbers all around you, 360 degrees. So yeah, when they say that data scientist is the sexiest job of the 21st century, it is actually, because we're able to, build up such applications and develop such things which certainly revolutionize a lot of things in the industry, which was earlier not even thought of. So yes, that is totally justified. The line below is totally justified in that way. We look at a bit of like the different kinds of skill sets which are majorly required for data science, so that you get an idea as to what all is the skill sets which you need to develop or something that you already have. So you can just, kind of do a match up with your skill set if you're really interested to be in this field, or if you're already in this field and if you're looking for a job, maybe you're working somewhere and you're looking to switch or similar lines, we'll get an idea that what are the different kinds of skill sets which companies are usually looking for in data scientists. So there are three main bubbles which are a part of the data science domain. So first being the computer science bubble, which you see on your left hand side. So here we can see that computer science means all your basic programming skills, be it in any language, say Python, R, SAS, whichever you pick up is your basic uh, number one requirement in computer science. So you need to be aware of one of the programming languages so that you can work with designing and creating solutions for any kind of a data science problem. So this covers your first bubble on the majority way. Whereas in the second bubble on the right hand side, you see maths and statistics. So for data scientists, there is no relief from maths. You have to know your basic 12 standard maths and also your statistics. So your central tendencies, mean, median, mode, your distributions, your probability, all of that is something that you need to know to really get to learning your machine learning algorithms, how to use them, how to really go about deriving them, etc. So now you see that at the intersection of computer science and maths, you have this small bubble of machine learning. So this machine learning is nothing but just a set of algorithms or a set of steps which enable you to perform calculations and also design really innovative solutions, which might be on the prediction side, which might be in any kind of a case. So yeah, machine learning lies at the intersection of computer science as well as maths and statistics. And the third bubble that you have is called as the business or domain expertise. So you might be seeing like applications like say weather prediction. Like we often get these weather reports coming in that okay, tomorrow it's going to be raining really heavily. There's a red alert, orange alert, yellow alert. For people who live in Mumbai, they might pretty much resonate with all of this. And even like there might be like cyclone warnings which come into place, right? So these kind of things are totally based on the predictions which are made by the people who are working as a part of those organizations. So that's why you require typical domain expertise or typical business knowledge depending on the kind of problem statement that you're trying to solve. So if you're trying to solve a problem which is related to finance, you need to have some basic knowledge about finance, so that you can solve the problem in the most efficient way, in the way which the business expects you. So now don't get scared by the fact that, okay, I don't know domain knowledge. I don't have that business expertise. How am I supposed to get into data science? That's not how it works. So business and domain expertise is something that you gain with your work. So the more you are dealing with different kinds of problem statements in different arenas, you'll get well versed with different kinds of terminology, different kinds of processes, different kinds of industries for that matter. So your business and domain expertise is something that you can learn on the job. It is not necessary that you need to know everything, but you need to have the acumen and the ability to grasp things and also to um, learn things quickly. So that is required, since the problem statement might be catering to a particular domain. So if you're solving that particular problem, you need to have like some basic knowledge. So that is something that you can gain while you're working in the team, but you need to be able to learn quickly and you need to able to adapt to things. So that is your third bubble, which is your business and domain expertise. Now, at the intersection of these three bubbles lies the field of data science, where you have all the combination of these three bubbles together in this data science aspect. So you might be using computer science, maths and statistics, business and domain expertise all together in one particular problem that you're solving. It's quite possible. So there is this other field which is there for analysts, which is at the intersection of business and domain expertise and maths and statistics. So this is your people who do your BSc in statistics, MSc in statistics. They are the kind of people who work in this field, especially. But it's not necessary. These days, engineers are everywhere. So engineers also lie into this category often, where they are into this data analyst role. So this is your intersection where people are working on this side. So here, usually people are dealing with Excel, they are dealing with different kinds of tools. Often they do deal with like something like Tableau, Power BI, that is also possible. So data analysis is that kind of a field where you have those tools which are used specifically. Now, your software developers come at this intersection where they work with computer science as well as business or domain expertise. So, when you have your computer science knowledge and you go to an organization and you start working there as a software developer, you're going to be using the business domain expertise to develop systems, to develop applications, to develop whatever utility is required. So, this is how all the three bubbles are related, and this is how you have every field at the intersection, but at the very central core lies data science. Let's look at a bit of terminology, a bit of Wikipedia definitions, which will really get you to understand what data science is. So, data science is an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific methods, processes, algorithms, and systems to extract knowledge and insights from structured and unstructured data. So, your data might be structured or unstructured. It might be tabular, say something that is lying on Excel or CSV, or it may be unstructured. It may be in the form of multimedia, which may be in the form of images, audio files, video files, or it may be lying on some Hadoop cluster where the data is not at all structured. The data might just be lying somewhere. So that is also possible as a data source form. So what you as a data scientist or a machine learning engineer or an AI engineer, we get to that later, work with processes, methods, algorithms, and systems to extract some kind of insights from this random data that is located somewhere. So that is your interdisciplinary field. Now, data science is quite much related to data mining and big data. Since until and unless you are able to fetch your data from somewhere, you cannot really analyze it or have some insights from it. So data mining or big data is an important part of your data science arena. So the term data scientist was coined in 2008. That is pretty recent, just 13 years ago, 13, 14 years ago, when companies realized the need for data professionals who are skilled in organizing and analyzing massive amounts of data. Now, when we say massive amounts of data, how did that come into picture? Like in your 2000s, you didn't even know what data was for that matter. Google came into 2000. So yeah, that is one thing which has changed the landscape. Now with social media like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, WhatsApp coming into picture, we have massive data all across. So we are generating so much of data every minute that people have realized that by looking at this huge chunk of data that we are generating, we might be able to generate revenue. That is quite possible. So that's why everyone is behind this rush towards getting data, procuring data, analyzing it, and getting insights from it. So that is how you have massive amounts of data that is lying all across the world. you yourself is generating so much of data every day. Like if you think, what do you do first thing in the morning? Check your phone, right? So as soon as you're tapping on your Android phone, you're starting to generate data, click data, app data, whatnot. Textual data, when you're texting, what you're doing is there's data that is generated. You're sending images, you are posting on social media, you're generating data everywhere. So that is why we have somehow come from that collection of data to analyzing data to getting insights out of data. This entire shift has happened over the years, majorly from say 2008, 2009 till 2022, where we are today. So let's have a look at the different kinds of data science applications which are existing in various domains today. Let's start in the clockwise fashion. So starting in healthcare, medical image analysis is one major field where you'll see the application of data science. For that matter, even reflecting on the previous 2 years that we've spent with COVID-19, there is so much of data science used there in terms of prediction of cases, like whether the person has COVID or not, the image analysis, everything. There is too much of prediction that is happening. All of that is using some kind of ML algorithm at the back end, some kind of image analysis at the back end, which is happening in the medical image analysis sector. Excuse me. Drug discovery, bioinformatics, virtual assistants. So bioinformatics, there is so much of research going on in the healthcare sector that you will see so much of images being generated, like for brain tumors. That is the most classical case when you're trying to learn data science, whether a tumor is something that is will whether it's killing or whether it's safer enough. So whether it's going to be very safe or whether how like malign it's going to be or how benign it's going to be. So that is the usual case that you'll see. A very typical use case when you try to learn data science, and when your father of AI that you say, which is Andrew Ng, when you go through his course, you'll obviously come to know about this use case, which is about cancer tumor detection, brain tumor detection. All such use cases come under the image analytics. So in healthcare, there is a lot of image analytics that is happening. And there is also some kind of text analytics that is happening where NLP techniques, natural language processing techniques, are being used to analyze data to recommend medicines, etc. So this is one such space which is very huge and open to research today in terms of healthcare. So earlier, healthcare as companies like say Cipla, say Ranbaxy, um, Piramal, all of these Indian companies who have been into the pharmaceutical sector for years, they did not even have tech teams. Now they have tech teams, they have data analysts, they have data scientists. They have built up their entire tech arena where they're doing so much of research behind it. So even for that matter, your vaccines, say Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson and Johnson, all of these companies have gotten into their technical harness, and they've really gotten that formula also correct for the vaccine. So too much of data science happening in healthcare. Transport. So self-driving cars. I think the best example is Tesla. Tesla is using so much of data science in their automated vehicle that they're trying to generate, or whatever, like the system that they're trying to build is very efficient. The autonomous driving system. So in transport also it is being used heavily, not just on the autonomous side, but also in the optimization of routes, safety, etc. We are trying to use a lot of data science and prediction mechanisms, which will try to see if there are any hurdles on the way so that the driver is alerted about the same. So that is the kind of things that is happening on the transport side. There is route optimization that is going on. So your maps, your Google Maps is the biggest example of using data science prediction, also in terms of how many kilometers you need to travel. So it tries to give you the shortest route possible so that you reach your destination in the minimum amount of time. And how do you think it's giving you the estimated time that it gives you? It does a lot of calculation and prediction at the back end with the current traffic scenario and many more features which it takes into consideration. So these are some of the examples in the transport sector. Now, when we talk about finance, finance is like a huge arena where you can do too much. So, what do you think? How do you get those calls for your credit cards? मैडम ये कार्ड लेना है, मैडम वो कार्ड लेना है, सर ये कार्ड ले लोगे आप, लोन दे रहे हैं हम. So how do you think that happens? It's all coming from your marketing analytics, and all your marketing analytic techniques are using somewhere or the other data science techniques, clustering. There are too many things that happen on the marketing sector also. So not just marketing, but also on the stock market prediction side, algorithmic trading, risk analysis of models, all of that takes into place where they are considering ML models, risk modeling techniques, all of that using some kind of prediction here and there. So yeah, finance and banking, I related it. So banking also has the marketing sector associated with it, where you get your calls for loans, etc. And then you also do fraud detection, like whether the card that you used for your transaction, whether it was legitimate or not. That is one good example of a fraud detection use case. So that is also done primarily in all our Indian banks, all banks abroad as well. Next, coming up to the manufacturing sector. In manufacturing sector, anomaly detection is a very primary use case. Like I'll give you an example where like your assembly line is generating cars, something like say Ford is generating cars. Now Ford or Volkswagen, whatever, is generating cars. Now the cars which are being generated, there's not going to be a human who's going to be monitoring whether the car is generated up to 100% perfection or no. Nowadays we have machines who are doing this entire work. So anomaly detection systems have been developed which are able to detect if there are any faults in the finished product. So that is what is anomaly detection, not only in the finished product, but also in the parts which go into your finished product. So yeah, you'll see that that is one of the major use cases in manufacturing. Next up, e-commerce. Now, e-commerce, mein to, there are so many use cases, be it Amazon, be it Myntra, be it Flipkart. They are using e-commerce day in, day out. Like they are using data science techniques day in, day out. If you see emails coming in from them saying that, okay, you search for this product, why don't you buy this product? Recommendations coming day in, day out, right? So if you are searching for a particular product, there'll be 10 different recommendations below. So how are these recommendations coming into picture? They are coming through all your recommendation systems which are generated using ML. So yeah, you see how wide verse data science is. These are just 6 big industries which we put here, but there are many more use cases that you'll see about data science, AI, ML being used everywhere. So let's go to the process flow. Now, what is the process flow? Is a life cycle that a particular data will go through. So these are the different steps that you see starting from 1 to 7. One, your first step is business understanding. So whenever you are given a certain problem, what you would really be recommended to do is ask relevant questions and then define the objectives for the problems so that it is sorted out in a fashion that you know what questions you need to answer and whether your understanding of the particular data is clear or not. So that is your business understanding part. Second is data mining, where you gather and scrape the data necessary for the project. So it's not necessary that you'll always be provided with data like handheld it. Like you're not going to be given like CSV files or Excel files directly. You will have to figure your data out on your own. So when that is the case, data mining that you learn in your computer science is exactly that. You have to gather data from multiple sources, scrape the data if required, and keep it with you so that you can actually utilize it. So data mining is a very important skill in data science domain. The third step is data cleaning. Fix the inconsistencies within your data. So your data might be pretty dirty or might be having a lot of missing values or NaN values, or there might be some records which do not have anything, just the name of the customer. That is also possible. So in such cases, like as a computer who is, or as a machine who is evaluating and developing predictions, you will require for that system to have complete data so that it can give you good predictions and good recommendations. So that's why you need data cleaning to be performed on your data very efficiently. The next step is data exploration. So form a hypothesis about your defined problem by visually analyzing the data. So when you say data exploration, it just means create charts, create different kinds of visuals to understand how your data is structured or how your data is going to influence the movement of different variables. Your variables are your different features which you've considered in your problem. So data exploration is all about visualization. What all different kinds of charts you can create, which will give you a more detailed understanding about the different concepts. So that is your data exploration. Moving on, feature engineering. So feature engineering is all about extracting new features from your data. So by understanding your business problem, you should be able to create new features from your data, which will help you to get a better model prediction and a better model result that you're looking for. Next is predictive modeling. Your sixth step is your machine learning model application. This is where you will be applying and training your relevant model according to the problem that you're trying to solve. So this is your predictive modeling space. Next is your data visualization. This data visualization is for communicating the results to your stakeholders. So the business people do not have a really good idea about how tech works. So they will understand it better by looking at different charts. So you know that usually CEOs look at a lot of dashboards and charts and all. So that just makes the numbers easily digestible in their brains. So whatever you get out of your predictive model results, you should be able to show that to your customer or your business, whatever the channel is, by using good charts and graphs and reports, etc., so that it is easily digestible. So this is usually the process flow that we follow for any data science use case. This is a kind of a dashboard that you would create on a Power BI or a Tableau platform. So this will give you like a complete story about how the different variables are placed and how the influence of different variables affects your target variable. So when I say target variable, like if I'm looking at something like the population of the world, like if I'm trying to analyze that, and that becomes my target variable. So whatever I'm trying to predict or analyze becomes your target variable. So here, if we're trying to create a dashboard or a story, we should try to create such visuals or graphs that will try to convey a story and try to give you more information about the target variable that you are looking at. So this is just an example of a dashboard that you would look at in either Power BI, Tableau, or many such tools, ClickView. There are too many tools that are existing today. Coming to the sample use case part. So here, if we try to understand a particular problem, say a bank wants to understand whether a new customer needs to be provided with a loan or no. Okay. So in this case, the kind of data that we have is portrayed over here. So we have so much data about the users. So let's start clockwise. So here we have the data about the job application, what kind of experience the user brings, the expertise on different projects, interview performance, the stability. Then for the bank loan application, what all data will be there? The credit history, what kind of history the customer carries, his income, his existing loans, his balance carried forward, like whether he has paid his EMIs or no. That is data about your bank loan application. Then you'll have some data about your insurance premium, like the age of the customer, the dependents that the customer has, the medical history, the test reports, whether the person is a smoker or non-smoker. Then some information about his retail store visits, like if I go to DMart, if I go to any kind of a mall, what are the number of visits I do, what is like the monthly revenue, what are the category of products, response to promotions, what is the kind of level of satisfaction. Then comes your general information, of course, name, profession, organization where you're working, the kind of education background you come from, age, origin, city. Then your school information simultaneously. So these are the different kinds of data points that can be available for a particular customer. Now, when you have to develop such a use case where you want to determine whether the user should be provided a loan or not, you will take in his general information as well as bank loan information. And then you will determine whether the user needs to be provided with a loan or not. Now, how we will go about this is in the next slide. So the problem statement is highlighted above. Should the customer be given a loan or not? It is majorly two options that are possible, whether the customer is given a loan, yes, or whether a customer is not given a loan, no. So this kind of a problem comes under the classification problem. So it is a type of a machine learning problem. So when you explore machine learning, you will come to know what classification problem is. Here we do different, look, so we are following the same steps, the process flow. So you figured out the data in the first slide. The business understanding was that what was the question, like what is the objective. Second is your data understanding. Third is about the data exploration, and then next followed by feature engineering. So feature engineering over here is that we can calculate the credit score for that particular customer. Now that credit score will have a certain formula, and how you can go about that is something that you'll understand with domain knowledge. Once you have your features ready, you can integrate all of this data together and then use it for model building. And after you've built your model, you will have to evaluate your model to look at the performance. So this is a typical classification problem. So for all of those of you who know about ML as a concept, would know that we have different kinds of performance measures in relation to every kind of a problem that we're trying to solve. So those performance measures are going to evaluate the model and determine whether this kind of a model is going to work in the industry or not. The predictions are similarly evaluated, and then you decide whether this is the model that we've generated, whether we can go forward with this or not. So this is about your loan development application. So whether a customer should be given a loan or no, this kind of a question can be answered with the help of a data science problem. Okay. Coming to the last and most interesting thing that you would really want to know about, data science today has evolved a lot in India, honestly. There are too many roles that are there out in the industry, like machine learning engineer, artificial AI engineer, NLP engineer, NLP research engineer, IoT something, something, something. So there are too many names for the same term. But what you actually need to, really crack and get into this field is get your three bubbles right, your skill sets right. Then try to solve complex problems into this field. Then develop new technology to simplify human work. So that should be your goal. That should be your basic goal. And the terminologies which are similar, as we see that machine learning, artificial intelligence, all of these people who are working in these roles are doing similar kind of work. Now, organization to organization, it will differentiate, but they are very basic, minute changes. Otherwise, everyone is doing the same kind of work. So I think what we can do is we can stop here and take question and answers, right, Tanvi? That will
Yes,
help
yes.
answer the
Yes, yes,
questions
yes.
more.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Ekta. If I can get a chance to present the screen, I have prepared a
Yeah, yeah,
short quiz
sure, sure.
from what you have talked about. So just to check if everyone is awake and present, so I'll present my screen. I would request everyone here to just take out your phones and enter a code on your phone to answer this quiz. I'll just take a second to present my screen also. Yes, I hope it is visible. So I was really confused. Me and my team are confused as to why 500 registrations and only 50 people showing up. So it turns out today is a festival in many parts of the country, and that's the reason. So all thank you to all 50 of you who have joined in, despite it being a festival. I think very enthusiastic about learning crowd we have. Sure. Just open your phone and type in Mentee, www.mentee.com. When you go to that URL, you will get a dialog box to enter a code, the quiz code that you will have to enter. So just type 96449545. Right, the code is given on the screen. I'll also type it in the chat here to help everyone out. 96449545. So it's just a short quiz I prepared while you were speaking, 4 questions to ask people from your slide itself. I wait for another minute for more people to join. So definitely the winner is going to get something from us. I'll make sure the team reaches out to whoever the winner is and we'll help you out.
Come on, guys, join in. It'll be fun.
How to go to the quiz? Okay, you go to, I've mentioned the link also in the chat now, mentee.com. When you go there, it will ask you for a code, and I've given the code also in the chat. You type in that code, and you will be able to enter the quiz. Nine six four four 9545. Great, awesome. Okay, is anybody? Should we wait for anyone else also, or should we start?
There are 17 people. Come on, there are 43 people on the call. What are you all doing? Quick.
Okay, sure, Ashutosh, we'll wait.
At least 41 people need to be on the call. On the mentee.com. What is this?
Awesome. Okay, we'll wait for more people. Go to mentee.com and type in the code, which is 96449545. It's just a very small quiz. It will take maybe a minute for you to answer these questions. Whatever Miss Ekta has just spoken. Ashutosh, have you joined? Okay, 26. Okay, let's try to reach 30. Four more people. Okay, anyways, chalo, let's start. Okay, people are joining. Cool. We'll start, okay? So I'm starting the quiz. Look at your phone to answer. So you will get the options on your phone. You have to vote on your phone. 10 seconds are left. Okay. Awesome. Okay, I'll change the question. What skill set is not important for getting into data science? Sorry. I think okay, there's a mistake. There's a typo in the options. The last option is none of the above.
Yeah, right.
The last option is none of the above. I'll see if I can change it midway. Yeah. Last option is none of the above. Great. Data visualization is the first step to solve any data science problem statement. So true or false? 10 seconds left. Others who have not joined Mentee.com can even type in the chat box itself. Okay. So data visualization is the last step to solve any data science problem statement. Awesome. So this is the last question. Okay. Data science is only relevant for companies who are in the technology industry. True or false? So data science is only relevant for tech people. That is what we are trying to ask you. So is it true or is it false? 10 seconds left. False. Okay. Awesome. Great. Okay. Let's see the leaderboard. Okay, awesome. So I think all the people who are the top three people, just drop in your email IDs in the chat box here, and we'll reach out to you with some rewards. Our team will note down your email ID. Logan, can you spell out your name? Can you unmute yourself and talk to us?
Ma'am, I'm K. Loganayaki from Tamil Nadu.
Hi, Loganaki. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. What about you?
I'm good. I'm good. So what do you do? What is your background?
I'm pursuing my second year BSc Maths, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Good. Congratulations. Drop your email ID and we'll reach out to you, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. Okay, you were able to answer only three questions. No problem. We have these sessions every week. Please join in next week, and we'll be happy to get more questions and help you with more stuff. Awesome. So I think we'll move on to the questions. So anybody who is here, please drop in any questions that you have. I also have some pre-submitted questions. I'll start with that, and then we can take the questions from the chat also. Right, Miss Ekta, I think we can start with the questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So the first question is. So it's around uh, so I think it's a very common question that we get a lot. So I think one of the students here also, they also asked. So he's saying that he's from biomedical. So we have Deepak who had submitted the question earlier. He said that he's from mechanical engineering backgrounds. Now, after basic learning of maybe R or Python, what how do they really get into data science? How do they use their domain knowledge to get into data science?
Right. So R and Python is not sufficient enough. They need to understand all the three circles. So maths and stats is very important, and as well as business or domain expertise. So since you said that mechanical engineer, so they will have some kind of an idea about the manufacturing units and supply chain industry. So that's a very, very good space for them to get into for after learning maths and stats and some ML. So the order will be something like this: learn maths and stats next, then learn something about ML, go forward with deep learning, and then go to looking for some internship or something in the ML space, in the mechanical space, because that will be more comfortable. They can go in other spaces also, but mechanical will be more like production hai, supply chain hai, manufacturing hai. Any of those industries will be very comfortable for them.
Okay, great. So next question is from Arun. He's asking, should we have immense programming skills to crack any data science interviews or being even a good performer in this domain of ML and data science?
For cracking a data science interview, you need intermediate programming skills knowledge, be it Python, be it R. That is not something that is specific. You need a conceptual understanding of ML and AI, which has to be very clear in your head. So, as far as your maths part of your ML is sorted, everything will go on the right track. You will be able to crack the interview. So, even if you have oral questions which are being asked, if you're able to understand the maths part of algorithms, you should be able to crack any question that comes in. So, maths, Python or R, and SQL. Three skills usually are enough to get inside any organization at an entry level at least.
Okay, awesome. So next question is more around, I think it's a technical question. So Avik is asking, what is the significance of machine learning in smart grid?
Smart grid, what is smart grid exactly that he's trying
Yeah,
to say?
I'm not,
I am
yes,
not aware of smart grid, so I am not able
Avik,
to answer this question.
same, same. Avik, if you're here, if you can just elaborate your question, we'll be happy to take it ahead. Great. So, Vaishnavi is asking what kind of languages are important for machine learning and data science. We covered that. And essentially her questions, most of them we've covered. What is math? What is importance of maths? One question she's asking is what is the roadmap or an ideal way to learn Python? So does she go about picking up Python if she's from a non-tech background?
So if she's from a non-tech background, she needs to pick up some course on the internet, which is offering you like free Python course. That also does work. Be it any website. I never recommend any website for Python. You can use anything, any resource. You just need to get hands-on practice on Python. That's it. So use anything and everything.
I think you mentioned father of data science and machine learning, and Andrew NG
And
courses
doing.
are very, very popular with students who are studying with us also. They are very always refer to Andrew NG and go back.
Correct.
Great. So, are there any prerequisites to learn or get into data science or machine learning for someone who is still in college? So, how relevant is it for freshers, and what do students need to do in college life to maybe directly get into data science and ML when they graduate?
So I have a different view over here for freshers. So I personally do not recommend freshers going into data science. I always tell them that you take the software developer, web developer, whatever you like route from your CS background, go into the industry, see what is interesting you. Just because the world is going behind data science, you don't need to go behind it. For freshers, it's a task. You do not get jobs in data science because people do not prefer individuals who have no experience to come into data science. It's a very big task managing those candidates. In the industry, also, we are seeing that if there are people who do not have any experience, it's a tough challenge maintaining everything with them. So it is recommended ideally that you go after a year or two, get yourself acquainted with how the software industry works, and get to know about how things are going on, right? Software developer is also a great role. it's never going to die. Data scientists might die, but software developer will never die. So always try to think from that perspective. Now, irrespective of that, if you want to go to data science, then you learn your programming language, you learn your math and stats part, you learn your ML. That's it. Good to go. Start practicing on Kaggle, and I think that's the way to getting into data science.
Awesome. So, next question is around projects. So,
Hmm.
how do I, so if I have, so if somebody, if a user is learning through free resources or any resources, if they have gained basic theoretical knowledge, how do they
Hmm.
go about choosing what kind of project they should build, or what kind of projects are good, what kind of projects are relevant? How do they go about getting the practical exposure?
Okay. So, irrespective of the kind of course you are in, whether it's something which is like a degree, whether it's something like which is free, or whatever pattern you're following for learning data science, you will always see some basic applications. Like for regression, we always have housing price prediction. For image classification, we always have cat dog image classification. So, always do your basic assignments clearly. Once you're done with that, and if you're reading and keeping in track with data science, you will know what kind of projects you have to do. You will ultimately gain the idea that okay, this is what is working in the industry, this is what is some problems that people are solving. Look at LinkedIn, see what people are doing, look at different kinds of research papers which are being worked on, so that you get an idea what is the kind of problem statements which are working currently. So you will get some or the other idea about projects, like what you need to work on and what is interesting you more.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So Naman is asking, how do you stay updated with all the technologies and research made in data science domain?
um, Read Medium, um, read Google News, which is something that gets personalized after a certain time. Mine is personalized to data science and AI now. So it becomes with time. Then the third thing that you can do is follow research papers if you're that intently engrossed. So three things, I think that is it. उससे सब पता चल जाता है.
Okay, awesome. Rajat is asking, how much MS in ML is relevant and beneficial? Masters, I think. Okay, okay. How much
Is
masters in machine
relevant.
learning is
Where?
beneficial?
But from where? Masters from where? Where is the
Okay.
big question now?
So if we can talk about how, why, where is an important question. So how do we differentiate what is good in if I'm picking a
So
master and what is not?
this field is not upcoming anymore. It is well settled after 2020, after the COVID period. Now, the problem is that everyone is selling data science. Now, you need to identify which place is best for you, for what kind of requirements you are coming for. So, when you enter data science as a field, you need to have a goal. I had a goal with data science. So, you need to decide that, okay, this is my goal. I'm going to work with this. So, then you search for courses, search for courses, or like you search for master programs, depending what how much time you have, how much time you really want to give, what is your intent, how deeply you want to go into it, how much of math you can really do. All of that plays a major role in deciding which particular course you want to be a part of. When you're choosing a course, try to reach out to mentors or try to reach out to seniors who have done this course, so that you get a realistic idea whether that is worth it for you or no. That's the best thing that I can say. I will not recommend any course or certificate.
Sure. So, when you say have a goal in mind, do you mean have a goal of a domain or of a certain area, or goal in what sense?
Goal could be anything. Like my personal goal is to do research. So it could be anything. Like you want to get someone is muting me. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So depending on the domain that you select, you should be able to identify that okay, these are the kind of problems I want to work in. So that will help to get to a
I,
goal.
okay. I think Sumit, I got a notification that Sumit Kumar Sharma did it. Sumit, if it was you, I don't think you'll get the second prize ka benefit. Okay, awesome.
What is the question? Yeah, he said IITs or from a foreign university. You do it from anywhere. You do it from IITs, you do it from foreign university. Anything is preferable. But where do you want to work? That will determine where you should do your masters from. Whether you want to work in India or whether you want to work abroad. If you want to work abroad, straight away go for masters there. Don't waste time here.
Hmm. Okay, awesome. So we have Ajay who's asking how to start learning any programming language. Again, I
Pick
think.
up any course. Pick up any
Mhm.
course and start. There is no other way out. You need to follow a routine.
I think consistency and
Yeah.
motivation is very difficult for students these days, and I think that those are the two most important
It's the
things.
same for even working professionals. Working professionals are no less than students these days. We have to keep updated in the same way. We have to do more struggle. We have even
Right.
lost touch with studying. Still, we have to study. So yeah, it's not the same.
Okay, awesome. So Dina is asking if you follow some research papers or if you could recommend some good ones, some good authors, if you know any.
Authors, there's only one person that I would recommend to anyone in the data science space. That is Andrew Ng. You follow his courses on Coursera. I think you're done with data science there and there itself. So if you're able to follow him religiously, you will be done. There'll be no issues at all.
Okay, awesome. Great. So I think the pre-submitted questions, I think Ashutosh only was there. Ashutosh, are you still here? I think your question is left, as in you're asking uses of data science and finance. I think Ms. Ekta covered it very properly in the presentation itself. If you have any more follow-up questions, I think Ashutosh was here. I heard his name, read his name. Okay, I think that is it for the questions. If anybody has any other questions for us, or if you want to ask anything else, you can write to us, or you can even ask right now. Are there any questions left? Okay, awesome. So I'll just take a few more minutes of yours and ask you to give us some basic feedback to help us, uh, improve our further sessions and bring you more content uh, in the future. Vinayak, you asked what does MyWays really do? So we are a career growth hub for technical students, where we are trying to bring to you relevant pre-career experiences so that you can upskill yourself and really become an experienced fresher, which is what the industry demands today. So we do a lot of activities, we do a lot of events like this, and we also help students with projects and courses. So please go to mentee.com and fill this feedback form that you are seeing on the screen right now. The code is 40974427. Uh, I want to thank Miss Ekta for joining in, for giving us your time. I know you are I know you're a very active mentor and you are busy with a lot of sessions and helping students. But thank you so much for your time. It is always great to have you. And I hope we are able to connect again and maybe get you for another session with my ways.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank you
Had a
so
good
much.
time.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I hope please give us feedback, and I'll also send maybe a feedback link on your email to uh, get more suggestions for masterclasses. If you have actually filled this session, this kind of masterclass feedback, you can also drop in the chat. What kind of sessions do you want to see next? Few sessions we are planning around cloud computing by the end of this month. You will get an email about it. We recently conducted a similar session on machine learning. You can find the recordings on our YouTube. And even for today's recording, you will find it on our YouTube. How can you contact us? You can write to us at student.connect. Um, And one more announcement. I think a lot of people were asking about Python program. So we have an upcoming batch in Python programming. So the batches, I think the few seats are left. So you can contact us and we'll help you if you want to join and start with Python. The batch is starting, I think, on 15th. I'm not sure of the date, but 15th February is the next batch. If you want to join us, you can do that also. We do projects and a lot of other stuff. So thank you so much for for joining in on the festival C language session. Okay, I think we'll have to plan that. We are getting a lot of demand for that also. Sure, Ajay. So I hope all of you have registered on the platform. If yes, you will get regular notifications about our upcoming events. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and have a happy weekend. Bye bye.